I found some of my best real estate investments doing this. I will jog a certain neighborhood for a year and look for change. For there to be profit in the deal, there must be two elements, a bargain and change. So as usual, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, we are getting very close to the end now. We are in chapter 9. Here are some to-dos. So before that, we had this is some philosophies around what to do to take the first steps, and now we're into the very practical ones. So let's get into it. It's another great day. Let's go and get the motivation from reading. I always find that seminars and reading and all those different things give me a lot of motivation, and then I just want to get straight into it, and I hope you feel the same today. So let's get into it. Here is the next part. Jog, walk, or drive a certain area once a month for 10 minutes. I have found some of my best real estate investments doing this. I will jog a certain neighborhood for a year and look for change. For there to be profit in the deal, there must be two elements, a bargain and change. There are lots of bargains, but it's change that turns a bargain into a profitable opportunity. So when I jog a neighborhood I might like to invest in. It is the repetition that causes me to notice slight differences. I notice real estate signs that are up for a long time. That means the seller might be more agreeable to deal. I watch for moving trucks going in or out. I stop and talk to the drivers. I talk to the postal carriers. It's amazing how much information they acquire about an area. I find a bad area, especially an area that the news has scared everyone away from. I drive it for sometimes a year, waiting for signs for some things changing for the better. I talk to retailers, especially new ones, and find out why they're moving in. It takes only a few minutes a month, and I do it while doing something else, like exercising or going to and from the store. This one is really good, and I was in an area yesterday where I saw a commercial piece of real estate that had homemade signs. So it had like original real estate signs, and then now it has the homemade sign with a personal phone number. And that to me is always a sign that there is a better chance that this might be a potential opportunity. And I have some ideas around this commercial piece of real estate. I'm not sure if it's the right time, but I'm always also keeping my eyes out and having a look. When I was at university, I used to walk around and I'd look and I'd automatically find them all the time, these for lease signs, because I was really into this commercial property thing. So I was always doing things to see if I could find something interesting that I might be able to do something with on a level that I'd be able to learn. So I'd go to real estate agents and I'd ask to see properties, and I was just interested in properties and stocks, and I was just interested in everything. So I was finding places to surround myself with these things. And this is what Robert Kiyosaki talks about. Go and walk in these areas, talk to people. When I went to buy my cafe, by the way, this is another interesting quick story. I went to go and buy my cafe, and the first thing that I did was there was a hotel a little bit further up, and I went to the hotel concierge. And similar to the postman, I went to the concierge, and the concierge knew all the gossip and knew absolutely everything about the whole area. So he told me about the hotel, how many people. He knew everything about the hotel, obviously, but he also knew whether there were other shops opening up soon, whether there were problems with certain things. He knew about the previous owners of the shop that I wanted to get. He could provide me with so many details. And I did the same with the security guard from the school across the road. So there was a college across the road, and I went and I introduced myself and I said, look, I'm interested in getting that place. Can you tell me a little bit about the area? Because I'm curious, before I buy it, I'd like to know a little bit about the area. And they gave me a lot of insight. And I later saw a couple of other people who were also interested in this property, and they dropped off quite quickly, but they didn't have the information, and they based it solely on their own observations. And sometimes that makes the biggest difference, because when you talk to people, you have more information. And something that might not look good to other people could be good, because you now have information that shows that something is turning around. Or you might find out, like I did, that something else was going to shut down, which would open up more of an opportunity. because yeah, without that other competition there, it's going to be easier for you to get those clients. So I got a lot of valuable information, and then you have to learn to analyze that information so you understand what it means and how it can go from just being information to actually telling you something, how it's going to benefit you, or why the area is getting better. So the government was also planning to build something further down the road, and that was also going to be brilliant. It was a little bit early stage for that, but the government was working on that. There were going to be lots of workers building this big project, and they were going to be a little bit further up, but we ended up having a lot of work being done. It didn't disrupt the business, and we ended up profiting from that as well. So spend a lot of time going to different areas, especially not such good areas, and do some research and talk to people and find out what you can find out, and you will find some amazing opportunities. Okay, next one, shop for bargains in all markets. Consumers will always be poor. When the supermarket has a sale, say on toilet paper, the consumer runs in and stocks up, unless it's coronavirus, and then people will stock up regardless of what the price is. You could jack the price up and people would still buy rolls and rolls and rolls of it. The consumer runs in and stocks up. But when the housing or stock market has a sale, most often called a crash or correction, the same consumer often runs away from it. They struggle to even want to buy the first one in the first place. When the supermarket raises its prices, the consumer shops somewhere else. But when housing or the stock market raises their price, the same consumer often rushes in and starts buying. Always remember, profits are made in the buying, not in the selling. So yes, I think there's a big disconnect between consumerism in the sense of going to the supermarket, and this is somebody's sphere of understanding, sphere of competence. So they know about tins of beans, and they know about fruits and vegetables, and they know what the prices are meant to be. And because they know about it, because their parents have told them about it, like how to squish the food and squeeze it and find out which ones are ripe, there are certain things we learn about the supermarket. But when it comes to properties, our parents didn't teach us about it. And so we don't know that the same applies, but we're also not looking at it in the same way. There's this big disconnect. It's like, this is for rich people and this is for me. The supermarket is where I can feel competent, and I know what I'm doing, and I can pick the right fruit, and I know when it's a deal and I know when it's not a deal. But the same applies to real estate, but we separate it off and say that's for rich people. But the same thing applies. If you have the knowledge, if you go out and if you study the market, if you know the price on average, and there's a lot of apps now. My phone's actually recording on bigger, so I can't show you. But on my app, you can see what the average price is for a certain area. And then you can see whether a house is above or below. And so you can start to see when discounts appear. So they don't have yellow stickers like they do in the supermarket, which is also one of the reasons why I think people find it easier in the supermarket. So people don't put yellow stickers on the house and say, oh, this is going at a discount, or everyday low price, or on special, etc. So it's harder for people to see as well. But if you know what the market price is, then you can tell when it's below or it's above. So take the time to get to know certain markets, and you can do the same thing that you do in the supermarket, but now you can do it in the real estate business as well. And I've recently very much been doing it in the stock market. So I've been following some of the top investors, and I was very curious to see that most of them are buying stocks that are not at a discount and undervalued, which I find quite interesting. So I've been studying that. I've been figuring out why they've been doing that and which stocks and why they've been picking those when they are not at a discount. So the more you know, the more power you have. So absolutely shop for bargains in all markets, not just in the supermarket, but also learn to be able to do the same thing that you're already really good at in the supermarket. It's not such a stretch to be able to do it for the real estate or stock market, and even in the business or commercial or rental market either. So learn to look for bargains, not only in the supermarket. And we'll do one more, looking in the right places. A neighbor bought a condominium for $100,000. I bought the identical condo next door for $50,000. He told me he's waiting for the price to go up. I told him that profit is made when you buy, not when you sell. He shopped with a real estate broker who owns no property of her own. I shopped at the foreclosure option. I paid $500 for a class on how to do this. My neighbor thought the $500 for a real estate investment class was too expensive. He said he could not afford the money all the time, so he waits for the price to go up. Wow, happy to pay $100,000, but not happy to pay $500 for the seminar. Could have saved him $50,000. So this is absolutely true. Again, it comes back to what we were just talking about. Learn to understand all markets, not just the supermarket, but also the stock market, the real estate market, the business market, the commercial real estate market, etc., etc. The more you know, the more information you have. But you don't want too much either. So analysis paralysis also gets a lot of people. If you just keep analyzing and analyzing and you don't think that you have enough data, or you have the data and it's conflicting and you've got too much now, so you've got yeses and nos and you're stuck in the middle. So make sure that you understand different markets, learn to find the information, learn how to use that information. You might need to go to a $500 seminar, but it could save you that $50,000. So some great lessons today, some great things to implement today. What I'm curious to know, what are you going to implement today? So if you'd like to let me know, reach out on Instagram, because my bio is very full of spam and different other things. So it's very hard to find the serious questions and the serious messages. So send me a message on Instagram. I love hearing from you all, and I love getting to know you. I'd love to know whether you're going to implement, what you're going to implement. And if you have any questions, we also have the YouTube channel that you can have a look at as well. So get in touch on Instagram. It's business_team_6_official. You'll be able to find me there, see what I'm up to, message me, and let me know what you're up to today, whether you're going to implement. Let me know that you came from Bigo or whether you're watching on Zoom. And then I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you. If you have any questions, send me your questions, and I'd love to turn them into YouTube videos in order to be able to answer your questions and have a database of answers to questions commonly asked in order to be able to help you become a better investor and actually get started, or become a better investor if you have already started. So we'd love to see you do that. And if you want to get in touch on YouTube and see the rest of these videos, then you can do that as well at the Passive Cashflow Club. So you'll find us there, and you can watch all of the replays. We have other videos as well, how to play cash flow, whether you should get a credit card or not. And I'm also looking forward to putting all of these answers to these questions that you have, that you send me on Instagram. So make sure you do that. Don't be shy, reach out. I love hearing from you. I'm really grateful that you're here. So I'm looking forward to putting more of your questions and answering them on the YouTube channel. And I mentioned I also have a video on how to play cash flow. A couple, actually. I think there's a couple more. I have a couple of different versions that I created. And Mladen, who is online with me on Zoom, he and I created an online version, which is absolutely amazing. It takes it to a whole new level. It has more realism. It will teach you things about taxation that aren't in the game. It will teach you about downsizing and how it can be done better. And we're working on stock market things. There are lots of things that are much more realistic, down payment wise, all of those kinds of things. So if you'd like to join us for cash flow, either in person or online, then make sure you get in touch on the Instagram as well. And I'll get my VA to send you the details of when we are playing next. And you can also reach out on Instagram to do that at business_team_6_official. I am really excited to get to know you. And I want to say thank you for joining today. I hope you got some really great lessons from what we read today. And I love sharing my personal experiences around that too, and wanted to be able to motivate you and help you. So look forward to seeing you all again for another reading tomorrow. Have a great day today, and thank you so much for joining. I'm going to jump over to Bigo and follow everybody that sent a little heart or did something and commented. And I'm looking forward to staying in touch with you as well. So I'm going to jump over and do that and get the recording from the Zoom. So I'll see you all tomorrow.